Close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath. Feel the silence that exists behind the noise, behind the rush, behind expectation. Now imagine that the future you long for never arrives, that nothing changes tomorrow, that no answer ever comes later. What remains? What is left when every projection fades and only the now remains? Maybe what's left is an emptiness, a discomfort we've all been taught to avoid, a space that can seem frightening. But that, in truth, is the only place where something real can take root. Maybe you're going through a moment when everything feels suspended, a time when your soul holds its breath, waiting for the right day, the right news, the right miracle, so that only then, life can truly begin. But what if this waiting is exactly what's keeping you away from the only thing that can change everything? What if presence, that raw, vivid, whole presence, is the very force the future needs in order to exist? The truth is, many of us have developed an intimate relationship with waiting. We've learned to delay life under the illusion that we're preparing for it. We make plans, feed hopes, repeat visualizations, but deep down, often it's just a disguise, a spiritual disguise for something deeper. The fear of being fully in the now, because being in the now makes you vulnerable. It's feeling what hurts without distraction. It's listening to what silence is trying to say. Projecting the future can be an elegant way to avoid the present. It may look like faith, it may look like focus, but sometimes it's just escape from pain, from emptiness, from lack of control. And the more we project what will be, the less we feel what is. We drift away from the body, from the moment, from sensation. And without feeling, there is no transformation. Dr. Bruce Lipton reminds us of something essential. When we focus on the future with anxiety, the body activates unconscious survival patterns. Stress hormones flood our system. And when we're in survival mode, we don't create, we only resist. The body goes into defense. The mind becomes alert. The heart contracts. There's no space for expansion or manifestation. Biology becomes a prisoner of anticipation. Joe Dispenza also teaches that when the mind is stuck in the past or projected into the future, the body's electromagnetic field becomes unstable. Without presence, there is no coherence. And without coherence, there is no vibrational field strong enough to materialize new paths. Presence isn't just a spiritual state. It's a neurobiological frequency that sustains the reality we want to live. All of this might sound like a contradiction. After all, we live in a world that values goals, planning, achievements. A world that says only those who anticipate, who dream big, who strategize, will win. But what if this race toward the future is like a mirage in the desert? The more you chase it, the more you dehydrate from the energy that could actually create something real. Because the future never arrives as we imagine. It only ever arises from the now. And what if this now, silent, uncomfortable, simple, is actually the only place where magic happens? What if the key you've been searching for is in this moment, in this body, in this breath? The future doesn't need to be chased. It needs to be nurtured. And that only happens when the soul allows itself to pause, to feel, to be. In this video, we explore that journey back to presence. We'll understand how anxiety for tomorrow drains the energy of today. We'll question myths, expose subtle spiritual traps, and more than anything, we'll learn to create the future not with urgency, but with presence. Because maybe time isn't delaying you. Maybe it's just waiting for you to fully arrive in the now. There is a pain that few recognize. It doesn't scream. It doesn't bleed. It doesn't explode. It's a silent pain, the pain of living in constant waiting. Waiting for the right love, the right job, the right moment. Waiting for a sign that says, now you can live. And while that sign doesn't come, time goes by like someone breathing half-heartedly, as if life were on pause, frozen in an eternal almost. In that state, the soul doesn't dance. The body doesn't blossom. When we live trapped in the expectation of what's to come, our energy is drained in the present. It's like trying to walk with your feet chained to when I have, when it happens, when it comes. And in that rhythm, the mind speeds up, the heart races, the entire body starts to live based on an absence that cannot be filled by more effort, more desire, or more planning. Because what's missing is not the future, it's presence. The body listens to everything, and it learns. It learns that you are always waiting, and out of loyalty, it begins to adapt. The mind becomes hyperactive, always occupied, always projecting. The heart becomes anxious, beating out of sync with the now. And your actions begin to lose soul, disconnecting from intuition, spinning around a tomorrow that never arrives as expected. The dominant frequency in that state becomes emptiness, a subtle but ever-present void, a void that disguises itself as hope but vibrates as absence. And the universe, it doesn't respond to what you want. It doesn't respond to your rational intentions, your detailed plans, or your most beautiful dreams. The universe only responds to your frequency, to what you are, feel, and emanate. Now, this is a harsh truth, but a liberating one, because it shows you don't need more effort or more control. You just need to recognize what's vibrating in you in this moment. What is the sound of your now? What is the emotional tone that holds your days together? If it's anxiety, the future will bring more waiting. If it's presence, the future will reveal itself as an extension of your vibration. To live anxious for tomorrow is to put the soul in debt with time. It's telling the universe that now is not enough. But what if now is everything? What if now is exactly the soil where your future longs to bloom? Maybe you don't need to chase tomorrow. Maybe you just need to stop running away from today. Maybe you've believed that the more detailed your plan, the closer you are to manifestation. That visualizing the same ideal scenario over and over is a sign of faith. That writing goals, timelines, and details is the same as co-creating. But there's a fine line between dreaming consciously and trying to control life's flow with spiritual rigidity. Excessive planning may look like a tool for manifestation, but often it's just an elegant shield against fear. Fear of being present, fear of not knowing, fear of feeling. So you plan, visualize, write, repeat, and it gives you a sense of control, a false peace, as if by scripting tomorrow you could avoid the instability of now. But the now cannot be tamed by lists. It can only be inhabited, and true manifestation doesn't come from the mind. It comes from the body, from vibration, from the frequency you sustain as you breathe. The universe doesn't respond to mental scripts. It responds to what is energetically pulsing inside you. That's why so many people do visualizations daily, declare their desires with enthusiasm, plan their goals carefully, and still feel stuck, because something essential is being ignored. The now, the living, real, sometimes uncomfortable feeling of being fully here. From the perspective of neuroscience, the brain can't access creativity when intoxicated by anticipatory dopamine. That dopamine is triggered by the thrill of expectation, by the almost there, by the it's about to happen. But this state, contrary to what we think, blocks true creation. It keeps the body in alert, in surveillance, in tension, and in that state, the heart doesn't open. The soul doesn't listen. Manifestation finds no passage. When you're too focused on planning, there's no room for the sacred unforeseen, for the touch of the invisible, for synchronicity, because everything is rigidly scripted, micromanaged, and the miracle rarely follows a script. Planning isn't wrong, but believing that the mental plan is the engine of reality is forgetting that the true creator is vibration. And vibration isn't written, it's felt, it's radiated. It's lived. The plan is just a map, but the journey happens in the body, in the moment, in the here. And if you're not fully here now, no plan, however perfect, will have the strength to bloom.